Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas, and today joining us, the Cannonball King himself, Mr. Spider. Today we're talking...
Oh, you talked right over that.
I talked right over, right? I just, and here's the problem is we didn't sync. So see, like... Danielle, I just kind of ruined the whole intro right then and there. Just like the podcast is over, right? Like,
let's go home.
We'll be all right. And there's another opportunity later, so maybe we'll get it right then.
Okay.
You need to work on that cannonball, though, bro.
I know. So today we're talking to Danielle Bahr, owner of the SPPA. We're super excited to talk to her about a new program that we're going to be talking about today. I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting and splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the Ultimate Pool Tools, the SPPA, Blu-ray XL, Aquastar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypack, and Heritage Pool Supply. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias, good morning. Feeling a little bit better today after that 3 a.m. drive?
Oh, yeah. I was having a good morning, but I made the mistake yesterday of I saw a chess board, right? And I asked Jade, and I said, you play chess? And he's like, yeah. So this morning he's like, hey, you want to play some chess? And I'm like, yeah, And, man, he schooled me 3 times in a row. So. And I'm very competitive, so that was a big blow to my ego there.
Mr. Spider, good morning. How you doing back there?
Hey, 2 thumbs up. That's the life I live.
That's it, baby. Good to have you on, brother. Danielle, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. How's the morning treating you so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good?
Hot here. Really hot.
It's really hot,
It's like humidity. It's so bad.
It's really bad. I don't know if you saw on our chat. It was... So there was the news for out here for Texas, and one of our Benny that's in our chat group saw the weather for McKinney, and in the news they screwed up, and they had put 101, and then after the 101, 105. So the newscaster was like, "Yeah, and everybody in McKinney's dead. They're all dead. They're all dying today. It's all." So then they were tagging Chad, which is from out here from McKinney, and they're like, "Chad, you okay? You alive? What's going on?" So
the weather on Apple said very hot. That's all. I was like, so what is it? Very hot.
Yeah. But late last night, it wasn't that bad, right? Like
bad,
once we finished having dinner and stuff like that, it wasn't terrible, but.
Not too bad. We got straight into Uber, so
It was still easily in the 80s after midnight last night.
Oh,
yeah.
No. It was not comfortable.
No, it was not. Definitely not good. Now, Zach, you were saying that there's some storms or whatever. Are we supposed to get any relief or what?
I don't know. It's just something they're watching in the Atlantic. It may get destroyed before it gets to us. So, but it had the whole... track and showing the development and everything. So
was that going to bring cooler weather our way? Because if not,
it said tropical depression potentially. So if it didn't, nothing yet.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So because we need some relief. It's been like at least 2 weeks now, Spider, out here
longer.
That it's just been.
It's been a while. Yeah,
been a while.
I can't remember the last time it rained.
Yeah, it's been pretty brutal out here.
Yeah,
so.
it's so hot when it does rain, it dries up real fast.
Yeah.
And then you just feel it.
Yeah.
That extra mugginess out there. So anyways. So Danielle, we're super excited to have you here. So Danielle came out yesterday. She spent some time with us in studio. We have some video content that we're working out that we're going to put out as well. We went out to dinner, which was amazing, by the way.
Oh my gosh, so good. Steak was so good.
It was amazing,
Yeah.
huh? So, anyways, and it was a new place. So John missed it. So unfortunately, John's not joining us. He's dealing with a couple things. But you know what? Last time he missed, Perry Steakhouse. And where else did we go? And we just ate really good. And then Danielle, we went last night to Del Frisco.
Oh, so good.
Steak, the bread. Oh my God, that bread was. You didn't try it, Zach.
I didn't touch it.
You didn't
Well,
touch
a little
it.
bit.
But it was just absolutely. And that bacon.
That bacon.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Was that amazing or
Yeah.
what? That was really good. So, and I don't know, but I ordered the filet mignon, but mine was like cooked perfectly, like to the T.
And then the dessert.
Oh yeah.
Like
I don't even know
I
what
thought it was
that's
going to come out really small and it ended up being like a full cake.
Yeah.
What is this?
It was absolutely amazing. So good stuff. So I do have to ask you. So the girl stayed sleeping this morning.
Yeah, my friends, excuse me, my friends did not make it this morning.
They did not make it this morning. They didn't get up because she was going to go to Summer Moon. She was like, I'm going to Summer Moon, and she didn't make it back. So
man.
she didn't get up this morning.
No one.
No.
Yeah, they came back later than me, and this morning I'm like, "Hey guys, it's time to get up. Let's go." And no one.
I wonder
They
what
did
that,
not make it.
I wonder what that's like,
We
right,
went
Zach?
we went to a couple places last night, and it was a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
they
Now,
had too much fun.
Did you guys stay right there in Frisco, where
Yeah,
where
where
the
the
star, where
Cowboys-
the
Yeah.
at Jerry Jones' Little Empire is what I call it? 'Cause
Yeah.
There's a lot of restaurants right there, right, and bars and
Yes,
all
yeah.
that kind of
There's
stuff.
like a
So
dueling piano place, or went there for a little bit, and then we went to Concrete Cowboy.
Concrete Cowboy.
It's like a club, I guess.
Concrete Cowboy. Which one is that one, Spider? Concrete Cowboy.
It's a club. It's a proper club.
It's a proper club.
Yeah, there used to be one downtown, but I don't think that one's open anymore.
There's something else. I forgot what it's called, but it was like ice something. I don't know. That's where we ended up staying for a while. It was a little higher class. It was really nice. Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Good. So that dual piano down there in Frisco, what is that like?
We were there
Is
for
it
2
just-
minutes and left.
Oh, okay.
It was,
You say dueling pianos, I just picture
it was two pianos.
people,
Yep,
two
two
people
pianos, They're
pianoing.
playing back and forth. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I have to
Yeah.
go check it out. I would take Zach out there, but Zach's asleep by 9 o'clock at night. So
Oh.
by the time they open, he's asleep.
Last night I was up late.
Playing chess.
Yeah.
So you don't know the problem that you've created for me. And that is that Jaden's now just going to brag that he beat you at
I'm
chess,
going to go
or
back and
something.
practice my chess game.
Yeah. So, of course, I was giving him a hard time because it's like, I don't know, crack of dawn, we're sitting down having a cup of coffee, and I come back out and the chess thing is out, and I go, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm going to play Zach." I go, "Dude, like, let us have some coffee and chat for a minute." And so look at how smooth he is. Oh, okay. But he doesn't leave. He just stays there. He's like, "Oh, okay," but almost like, "Oh, okay," but I don't care what you said. I'm just going to sit here and play with him anyways.
That's what
Okay,
it
and then
was.
you set it all up
And then
perfectly.
yeah, exactly.
It was too early. I didn't have my coffee yet. That's what
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. So let's jump in. Let's kind of go through a couple things here really quick before we start talking to Danielle. So a couple things. Boot camp, August 18th and 19th. That's going to be in Houston, out in League City. We are up to 78 people. We have 2 spots left that are open. So what you're going to want to do is, Zach's looking at me like, really? We're at 78? You're freaking me out, Edgar. So we are going to be doing a 2-day boot camp. So on Friday, we're going to be doing classroom style. We're going to be doing water chemistry with Terry Arco. JJ's going to kill it with his borates. Managing salt system pools, understanding ozone with Steve Barnes, and then next level chemistry with Terry Arco. And then on Saturday, we're going to be doing a variable speed class with Aquastar Pool Products. They're going to be teaching you how to install pool pumps, and that's cutting wires, stripping wires, connecting it to different automations, changing the pump seals on it. Excuse me. Super excited about that, how to program it. And then Hayward has joined us, and they are going to be doing an automation class. They're going to be teaching people how to install automations, how to connect to them, all that kind of fun stuff. And it's the same thing. It's literally hands-on, cutting wires, stripping, kind of getting to the good part of it. So we're super excited about that. Hayward's going to bring some lunch, right, on Saturday, which is legit. We kind of talked about that. And then they're going to be doing some giveaways. They're going to be bringing a whole bunch of merch, all that kind of stuff. we were out this week looking at some merch that we have coming out that we're going to be bringing out. So super kind of excited about that. The other thing that I want to talk about really quick is there is a Women's Summit on the 24th and 25th of August out here at the Heritage headquarters in McKinney. So there is going to be also a 2-day event the night before, 6 to 8. We're going to be doing some networking. Danielle, you going to be there?
I'll be there.
Yes. So Danielle will
Excited.
be there with us to join us. The first night is really just kind of a networking hors d'oeuvre, some wine, some beer, just kind of getting to meet everybody. The next day, we're going to be doing a 8 to 5, couple workshops, couple Q&As out there for the women in the industry. We are sold out for that event. We can only hold 102 women, and we are completely sold out. So we're looking forward to that. The other thing that I need to talk about is the Pool Nation Awards nominations are open. They're open until August 15th. So get out there, nominate. This is the time. And every year, Danielle, afterwards, we take a beating. People are like, how come you didn't tell us? How come you didn't do it? And we're like, oh my God, we feel like we talk about it till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's my disclaimer for those later. I'll kind of pull that clip and put it out there for everybody. And then what we announced on the Instagram Live on Wednesday, which is super, super, super exciting. And we have to give a very, very big, huge shout out to HASA. They stepped up their game. They are hosting the first HASA Pool Nation after party after the awards. And my kids make fun of me because I keep using the word epic. And they're like, Dad, that's so old. I guess I'm supposed to use what now, Zach?
I can't even keep up with
Jaden was telling me
lit.
It was like lit and sick, and there was some other word that he said that I had to use. But I don't know. I can't keep up with them anymore. So, but it is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be at the Conrad Hotel, which is next to the convention center. The Conrad Hotel is a 5-star hotel. It's going to be an alley on the lounge on the 66th floor, overlooking the entire strip. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So in order for you to be able to go to the after party, you have to go to the awards. So you can't go without going to the awards. So anybody that wants to go, what I recommend that you do is go to their website for poolspapatio.com. That's for the expo, for the International Pool and Spa Show. Get your tickets for the Pool Nation Awards. You'll be able to get your tickets for the after party and get those because I think we max out for the after party at like 250 people. So we figured we're going to have probably about 300 for the awards, so about 250. So get out there, get them. You don't have to worry about it, Danielle. Of course, you're a sponsor of the Pool Nation Awards, so you got your tickets already reserved. So you're all set.
I was already on my phone trying to get them.
I just have one request. Just make sure the espresso machine is working.
The espresso machine is working up there, right? Which, by the way, for this event, it is free open bar.
Ooh.
So
don't bring my friends.
Let's do an invite. Let's call them right now. Make sure that they get their tickets to get up to the Pool Nation Awards. So anyways, the last thing that I want to talk about real quick before we jump in, and that is that we have some new updates coming for the Poolman University app. Those will be out right before the event in Houston on the 18th and 19th. So stay tuned. We've got some amazing new content. Some of the content that we shot yesterday will be up on the app. We've got some new features that we're going to be talking about soon. So stay tuned for that. So anyway, Zach, I hate that I always have to do the housekeeping notes because it feels like I'm talking for 3 hours, So, Danielle, I'm going to start off the podcast by just taking a second to do a little timeout.
Okay.
And thanking you absolutely from the bottom of our hearts because, we started this podcast, about 3 years ago. And it was very, very early in our journey that you and I had a conversation. I mean, I think we were doing the podcast for like 2 months, maybe at most. And you reached out and we talked about the vision of what we wanted to do with the pool pros and better the industry and do all that. And you just kind of came to us and you said, I want to be a part of it. I want to support you guys. And you've been a supporter all the way since day one. And, here we are 3 years later trying to help the industry, help the pool pros. And you've been a complete rock in our foundation to just be able to get to where we are, right? So with building the app, with doing all the things that we do. We wouldn't be able to do it without you, the awards, all that kind of stuff. So we really wanted to take a second to thank you for all of that, because without you, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be able to be as far as we are.
Thank you.
So
Might cry.
and it makes sense. I mean, as we talk in this podcast, it's going to make sense why you have a love for the industry, but I'll let you kind of tell us about that. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Temecula, California. I grew up in Encinitas, California, and I have twin boy and girl twins. They're 5 years old, and they're crazy.
You have a boy and a girl?
A boy and a
I
girl.
thought you had 2 boys.
No, a boy and a girl. Yeah.
So you got, so
I'm
you're
done.
You're, I was
Yeah.
going to say you're done, right? You got
yeah,
your boy, your girl,
for sure,
you're
I'm done. I'm very. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And especially when they're the same age.
Oh yeah, they feed off of each other. If one's crazy, then the next one, then they're jumping off. Yeah.
Now, are they always, just because they're twins, are they always kind of like in sync and together, or
Oh,
is
yeah.
there a lot of fighting between them?
They're always together. Always.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
they can't be separate. I took long story short, we were at the hospital when my son had an ouchie happened.
Uh-huh.
We were gone for 8 hours, and she was a wreck for 8 hours, and so was he. He was like, I just miss Pearl.
That's
so sad.
That's awesome. Because they do say that, especially when you're twins, there's that magical connection that people can't explain.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, they definitely have it. Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's a boy and a girl. Normally you get talk about twins, and the majority of the time they're either boys or
Yeah,
girls.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome. And so you live out in Temecula, but you're born and raised in California.
Yep. Born and raised in California, and then I moved to Temecula for my husband. I miss the beach, but Temecula is nice.
Gotcha.
So how did you get started in the pool industry?
Pool water runs in my blood. My parents they had a warranty station, and they build pools now. But I was born into the pool industry, and my dad actually was 17 years old when he knocked on doors and did his pool route for free until he built up his own pool route and then started charging. And my mom was his neighbor. They were actually neighbors since they were 4 years old, and they started a pool route, and then they owned a pool store. And later in life, I went to college, kind of. I went snowboarding, actually, instead. And college wasn't for me. So I started doing insurance and started offering it to the pool professionals back when I was 17 years old, and kind of started my journey there. So the love for the pool industry is really, it's close to me because not just my parents are in the industry, but also now my brother is doing it, and I have my cousin Joel. What up, Joel?
I was going to say, what up, Joel? Shout out to Joel out there.
And then his dad retired, but he had a pool company as well. And then on the other side, my uncle on my dad's side has a pool company, and his wife. I mean, the list goes on and on. Once you're in it, you're never out, right?
I think it's easier to ask who of your family is not in the pool industry would
yes.
probably be easier, right?
My sister, she's a vet. That's it.
Now, are your parents still in the pool industry?
Yeah, it's crazy. My dad had a heart attack about 5 years ago, and he was like, okay, I'm retiring. I'm out of this. And now he works every day and is building a million pools. I'm like, what are you doing? So even if you try to get out, you can't. My mom's going to have to pry him away.
So they're doing building now.
Yeah. And my brother is part owner of the company as well. So he's going to eventually take over. So he's learning everything. And so I think it'll be good.
So, but your brother, has he always been in the pool industry, or has that been recent?
No, he actually was an engineer.
I was going to
An
say, 'cause
oil
I thought-
engineer,
I
yes.
thought, yeah.
And then, during COVID and stuff, he moved back to Encinitas from Bakersfield, which was very nice. And then he kind of, saw what my dad was doing. He's like, I could do that. And, it's different. A 9-to-5 job offers just 9 to 5 and your paycheck. And for him, this kind of gives him no limit. He can build as many pools as he wants or doesn't. And so he really likes it. I asked my dad few years back, I'm like, hey, I'd love to take over your business. I can run this thing. And he's like, no. And now my brother's doing it. I'm really upset. like, I could be so good at this. I could definitely just hire subs. We just got done building a pool at my house, and it's like you just hire the subs, you do it, and mark it up a lot, I guess.
Expansion idea, right?
Yeah.
SPPA goes into building
Yes.
and then insurance on the builders,
Yeah.
insurance on the pool pros, and she builds as well.
There we go.
You would kill it.
Yeah.
And then you just gotta recruit your sister, and then it's
There we
There you
go.
go.
complete.
Yeah.
There you
The
go.
whole family. Yeah.
You know what she could do is, since she's a vet, she could do the boarding and she could have a couple pools for the
Yeah,
dogs,
there we
and then
go.
just kind of full circle back in.
I did ask my husband. He owns an underground pipeline company, and I was like, "Hey, why don't we start building pools? We just did one. We can
Yeah.
do more." He's like, "No."
You know what? What's your husband's name?
Jamie.
Jamie. Like, smart move right there, bro. Just do. Yeah, you don't want to build pools. So, But anyways, so tell us a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of us that know what the SPPA is, but for those new listeners, what is the SPPA?
The SPPA is an association of pool professionals, and by joining the alliance, you have access to general liability insurance. And within the general liability insurance, it's a customized policy for pool professionals. I'm kind of like not know what to do with my hands. I'm like, this is for pool professionals. I don't like. I'm trying to keep them under the table.
You're gonna have to do just stay like that. Like
Yeah.
you were holding a pole or a net, right?
Yeah.
So was there something specific that made you want to start the SPPA?
I worked with another company when I was 17 years old, and the policy that was being offered there was I had an issue with it. And so I went out and I started to look for other policies, and someone once told me that I'm never going to be able to start my own insurance company, and it's too hard, and there's no way you can do it. And I said, watch me. So I think I was like 18, 19. No, I don't know. Sorry. That was later in life. I was in my 20s, early 20s. And I remember having a meeting. I got my insurance license. I was very excited about this. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go present it. And I was on top of the Merrill Lynch building. And I walk in, and all these guys in suits are there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was 25 years old. And I'm looking, and I'm like, this is a big, long glass table overlooking San Diego. And I was so scared, but I pitched the idea and the love for the industry because, I was born into it, and how I want to protect these pool professionals and offer them a policy that is going to protect them. And these guys, they could have said no. And I said, look, I'm going to start from square one. And I remember when I got my first member, and I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm never going to do well. I'm never going to make it. And now we have, over 3,500 members. So
you have 3,500 members?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been 10 years now. Yeah. So 10 years.
That's more than some of the associations that we have
So I
in
was
the
20.
industry.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think the good thing also about this company is that we're always there. I feel like if you call, we're there to pick up the phone. And then if you don't pay your bill, we're going to call, we're going to text, and email. So yeah, I love it. I mean, this is awesome. I love this job.
So take me back, because you were saying I took that first customer and I never thought that I was going to be able to do that. Now you have 3,500 members, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's very easy. We talk about it all the time. I think it's very easy for people to see you at the beginning, not see the struggle, right? Not see the 2 a.m., not see the late night, not see the stresses and all that kind of stuff. And now you have 3,500, and I think people look at it very differently and be like, oh my God, like 3,500 members in the industry, that's a lot, that's success.
Yeah.
What was that journey like? Like, specifically when you had that one member going?
So hard. And I'm, thankful. My husband, we weren't married at the time. I think we were just engaged. He said, look, I'll support you. And I said, well, I couldn't take a paycheck for 2 years. So, I put everything back into the business and spent 16, I started 7 a.m. all the way till midnight, sometimes in the office. And he would bring me food, and I'm like, I got to do this. I got to do this. And it was so much work. And I remember thinking my goal was 1,000 members. And then now we're at 3,500. And it's it's definitely a great feeling, and I think people can see how dedicated I am to the industry, and maybe that's why. Also offering a great policy behind it. But yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm not going to quit. My next is 4,000 and then 5,000, and I started a brokerage firm in the middle of this whole thing. SPPA is an alliance, and I was just the agent for it. And then I decided, I'm going to start a brokerage company. So I started Bahr Insurance Agency, and now I broker to the SPPA. So now everything's in-house, all certificates of insurance, everything. So that kind of made it, that's another part of it. That was a lot of work. That's testing, and I'm a horrible test taker. And then now life insurance, and then I had to get my life license. So there's a lot to it. In the last 10 years, I feel like there's been a lot of accomplishments with the company, and I have two of my best friends that work with me in the office, and it's Bailey and Ashley, and they're amazing, and I think that they have a love for the industry just like I do, and people definitely see that.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Bailey. So we met Bailey when she started with you 2 years ago at the Dallas show. It was actually the international, and I'll never forget. We talked about it yesterday, but it was so funny. Like, we're in the booth. Typical guys. We got chaos. I think we had, I don't know what, like 400 shirts that we needed to give out, and just piles everywhere, right?
It was a mess. We rolled up. I was like,
and the girls roll in, and I come back, and Bailey's got like everything nice and folded, and she's like, "Okay, here's this stack, here's that stack," and I'm like, "Oh my God, talk about like, right, like just." Sometimes it's those easy things, but she kind of came in and you did, and you, because we took a break. We took a break to go prep for the show. You guys watched the booth for us while we were getting ready for the first awards. And then we come back and everything's like all organized, which we hadn't done for like 2 days.
Yeah, we should have started with that.
And speaking of Bailey, I've known her since we went to college. We didn't really go to college, but I've known her for years and years. And Ashley I've known for probably 15 years as well. So they're good friends, and they work, and they're awesome. And she does fold all your clothes too.
Yeah, she's absolutely. So big shout out to both of them. They're just absolutely amazing. What would you say has been some of the hardest parts? So you have a couple members, maybe you had 10 or 15. Was there a moment that you kind of like had a jump, that you went like, maybe you have 200 and then all of a sudden you did something, or word got out and you kind of grew to that 1,000 quick, or has it just been a grind?
Yeah, it's been a grind. And it's been, the first month I had 4 new members, and then the second month it was like 15. And then I think as word spread, then we had more and more. And now we're getting about 60 to 100 a month. And I'm so like, there's that many pool professionals out there.
Oh yeah.
I'm always going, this is crazy. And a lot of them are not coming from other places. They're just signing up for insurance. So they're not coming from other insurance companies. So that means that they were not insured at all. So, but I think that it's been a steady, gradual thing. And I feel like sometimes that's the best way for businesses, because it's good.
Well, you don't get lost in
it's exciting too, because I think a lot of the like conversation is starting to circle around like the business side of things and running a business, and what things do we need to have in place. Like, let's start thinking of this as an actual business, not just a job. And one of the key components of having a business is being covered and having that insurance. So I think a lot of the conversation is moving in that direction. There's more awareness and things like that going on. So and like you said, I talk about it a lot. It's easy, like even for me, like growing up in our local market in the industry, it's like once, I started with Pool Nation and being exposed to more of the industry, like I quickly realized like, oh, there is so many more pool pros and so many more businesses out there than I even imagined.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's everyone in their family in it, right?
Yeah. It's funny. And we always joke, it's like it's that life sentence, right? Like you got in and you're never leaving.
For sure.
So I do have a question for you. Before I do that, I want to give a couple shout outs out here. Jeanette is on here. So Jeanette is saying that there's a cold front coming in for Texas.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's going to be 95 degrees.
Yeah. Quite the cold front.
Right, Spider?
We'll take it.
It's going to be, I think we need to pull out our jackets, right, Spider?
I got the hoodie in here just in case.
So, anyways, big shout out to you, Jeanette, out there. Leslie Ann is giving a shout out to her husband. Hey, babe. So, big shout out to Leslie out there. Did you miss that one? Did you not reply?
No, I started that.
Oh, you started that. Gotcha. Oh, I see it. You're right. I see it out there. So, Michael from First Response is saying that he is actually having a suit custom made for the awards.
Wow.
That is
Nice.
legit. And you should have seen him last year. He was sharp. He would have won best dress for sure.
I hope it's purple velvet.
Spider's going to be there. Spider, you going to go orange, yellow, blue? What are we doing?
I don't know. I'll bring the whole rainbow inside that day.
Todd's Pool Service, big huge shout out there. Maria, good morning. Benny, shout out to all you guys out there. So I do have a question, and I want to talk a little bit about, I want to do two things. One is I want to talk about the new program that you're doing, which I think is phenomenal. And I want to take advantage, and I want to do a little bit of educating for the pool pros, since we have you and you know so much about insurance. And really what I want to do is, allow the pool pros that maybe don't have insurance yet, that need to go out and get insurance, to kind of be educated a little bit on what are some of the things that they should look for. Because I think that's one of the things that you get insurance, and most of the time you just kind of go by what they give you. And it's been because of you that I've learned about all these other things that you need to look at in a policy, which I didn't even know, right?
Yeah.
I just kind of went out, took a policy, that's it. But there's a lot of things that are inclusions and exclusions and aggregates and all these types of things that in talking to you and taking your class, it's like I've learned about all the things that we need to take into account. And I even look at the times that I was a pool pro and I'm like, I thought I was covered.
Yeah.
I was lucky because I wasn't covered, right? So I want to talk about that a little bit. And the belief that I have to the pool pros out there that are listening, when we start in the pool industry or we start any business, we're watching all of our expenses. We're really trying to watch every dollar. And I think one of our mentalities is, I can't afford insurance, right? I can't afford the $69, $75, $100 a month for the insurance. And I think it's the opposite. I think that's the time that you really need to look at your expenses and go, what else can I cut out? Because I need to spend this $100 for this protection. And here's why is, you're brand new. You don't know a lot about water chemistry. I mean, realistically, I didn't know a lot at the beginning, right? You kind of learn through the process. And you go out there, and simple things that we've talked about is you accidentally throw trichlor into a dark bottom pool.
Yes, we see that a lot. Please don't do that anymore.
Right? But we're sitting there going, I can't pay $100 a month, but now I have $6,000 to $8,000 worth of damage that I've just done. Or your water chemistry is out of balance, and you ruin equipment or you ruin plaster and all that kind of stuff. Not spending that $100 is going to put you out of business, right? So it's almost like, to the pool pros that are listening, if you don't have insurance and you're just starting in the industry, this is one of the first things that you need to do, and you need to get a policy that's going to cover you. And I mean, it's very inexpensive. I mean, we're talking like the high tier is $100.
Yeah, and there also could be policies that you do have, and let's just say you're only paying $50 a month, but take a look at that policy and make sure it's covering what you do for a living, that the pool service that is going to be covered. Because in the event of a claim, you want to make sure that the claim is covered, because if it's denied because there's no coverage for it in the policy, that's a big thing to look at.
Yeah, and that'll just kind of put anybody out of business. And I'll share here in a little bit a pool pro that we helped from out here from Texas, and what ended up happening to him is he didn't have insurance. Young kid, 23 years old. Somebody told him to empty a fiberglass pool.
Ooh.
And not just empty it. She was like, no, don't do that, right? Empty a fiberglass pool. But whoever gave him advice told him to give it an acid wash.
Oh, no.
I was like, how do you acid wash a fiberglass pool, right? So what ended up happening is one of the walls caved in.
Yeah.
And here's this young 23-year-old, and I have to give him nothing but props because he owned it. and he called and he asked for advice and, how do I handle this? And I don't have insurance. And it was like, okay, the first thing I want you to do is like get the insurance, right? It's $100 a month. You're going to be covered. And so I kind of had to walk him through the process the best as I could to be able to kind of go talk to that customer and figure out, and he had to pay out of pocket,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Expensive.
In order to be able to do that. And people go, oh, the odds of that happening to me are slim to none, but it happens,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So I know that you want to talk a little bit about the new program that you have, which, by the way, just ties into your whole life into the industry. So I want to talk a little bit about, some of the things that pool pros should look at when it comes to insurance.
Yeah.
So I think the first question to start with is, I mean, Edgar kind of briefed on it, but why? Like, you're new in the industry, like, why should you have that insurance?
Things happen. I see it every day. I see claims all the time. It doesn't matter if you're new or if you've been in the industry for 1,000 years. Things can happen, and I've seen pool poles go through nice windows. I've seen pool overflows. Unfortunately, we do not cover draining fiberglass pools because we know that those will cave in, but we do cover pool pop-ups, and I've seen a few of those, and that was $250,000 in
Wow.
Florida because the water tables were high. So yeah, these are the things that can happen. And even chemical spills on site, that's something that would be covered under pollution cleanup costs, or even driving down the road. So it's really important as a pool professional, or if you're starting a business or you've had a business, to either take a look at the current policy you have, make sure that you have those coverages, or get yourself a policy, something that'll cover you for the business that you're doing. Because if you don't have the insurance, it's going to go after your assets. And, you've worked so hard to start this company or have had it for many years. You're not going to be able to take care of a $250,000, or maybe you are, but do you want to pay that out of pocket? Give it to someone else to pay.
Here's a scary thought, Danielle. Somebody that's starting new in the industry hasn't set up their corporation yet. They're a sole proprietor,
Mhm.
and a pool pops on them. That's it. They're doomed because
Yeah.
there's no protection now from your assets. So they're going to come after your house. They're going to come after,
Yeah.
you personally, and you're responsible for it.
Well, and I'm curious, you mentioned the hazmat and how does that work if you get hit by someone and hazmat has to come out, but they don't have coverage for any of that? Does that responsibility fall on you?
It depends. I mean, usually the insurance companies kind of work it out at that point. But if you have hazmat coverage, if you have a commercial policy and you have hazmat on for your auto insurance, that should pick up so much. And then additionally, whatever that doesn't, the amount that has, then we'll come in. For example, we have $50,000 of pollution cleanup costs, and they'll come in and they'll use that $50,000 towards it. And it's expensive when you have to call hazmat.
Oh, yeah. Anytime that little hazmat comes out, woo,
Yeah.
all I see is the zeros being added to the cost.
Yeah.
So what's the best way? So somebody that is listening and they're like, okay, we need to get, so what's the best way for them to choose an insurance company?
The best way to choose an insurance company is take a look. First of all, call, find out what they offer. You want to make sure that all the coverages that if you're servicing a pool and repairing, that you want to make sure that service and repairs are covered. If you're doing construction, you want to make sure that policy is covering construction, because, for example, our policy is just for service and repair. We're not going to cover any remodel, no new construction of any kind. So it just covers service and repair, pumps, heaters, filters, motors, if you're doing stuff like that and an accident occurs. So you take a look at that. One thing I say is make sure that certificates of insurance are free of charge if they're charging for AI certificates, which is additionally insured, or if they're charging for waivers, subrogation, stuff like that. If it's A-rated, and A-rated would mean how financially secure the insurance is behind the insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
In the event of a claim, you want to make sure that they have the funds to pay it. So make sure that policy is A-rated. And I also say make sure that there's someone on the other line to talk to, because I've done it before. I think I was telling you guys yesterday is that you call and it's like press 15, press 9, press 4, and then you talk to someone, you're like, I just need to pay a bill, you know. One thing about our company is we're always there. You'll get a text message, you'll get a phone call. We're always there. So
you talk about A rating and strength ratings. Can you dive a little bit more into how all of that works?
yeah, it's how financially secure the insurance company is. So I think you were saying, it's like,
It's right. We were talking about it yesterday because I think that's one of the questions, especially with the A ratings, because right there was so
Yes.
many of them. So like you could go from what was it, A to D or
Yeah,
F or
I don't really go
whatever.
past that.
It's big, right? And we were looking at it, and it was funny because Danielle and I were talking about it. And she's like, just stick to A rating.
yeah,
Like just
that's
stick
it.
to A rating. But
It's like food. Do you go to a place that says C?
Right.
No.
Right. And so the financial strength was really the way she explained it to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was, basically how much money the company has to be able to pay out those claims, right? So, you get a small insurance company with a hole in the wall office somewhere that doesn't have a lot of money, and if they get $1 million claim, do they have the money to be able to pay
Well,
it out, right?
that ties right into what you were saying. Like when we get started and small business, it's like we're really looking at that cost crunching, and it's, well, I mean, this is a cheaper option, so I'm going to go with that option. But like you said, do they have the money to?
It's really like, for example, we are insured by the Hartford, so all the policy is a Hartford policy, and if you look at Hartford, their financial rating is A.
Mhm.
So that's where it's showing that, hey, in the event if a claim goes through with the policy, that their claims department's gonna come in, they're gonna pay that.
Right,
So
right. And it's funny because I've been watching, you look at the big insurance companies and not for what we do, but you look at like State Farm and some of those
Yeah.
bigger companies, obviously their portfolio is huge, right? And they've like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But, those companies that have the financial strength and kind of do all that planning, they're smart. They'll pull out. I mean, look at how many companies are pulling out of Florida, just kind of going,
Yeah.
the risk is just too high. We're out, right?
There's another thing too. There's also out there, it's called a risk retention group, and so what that is that it's a pool. Basically, let's just say they have a $3 million aggregate, $1 million per occurrence, that they basically pool that money, and that $3 million is for the year for the group. So let's just say it's 3,000 members or 3,000 people part of that group. If 3 people get a $3 million claim, there's no more money in the pot. So that's something that you want to kind of take a look at as well. You want your own policy limits.
What is that called? Because that's big. What is that called?
It's a risk retention group. So basically, it's they're that 3 million. And we'll talk about that real quick since we're on it.
Yeah.
An aggregate limit. An aggregate limit is basically the life of a policy. Let's just say you start your policy January 1st, 2023, and then you end your policy January 1st, 2024. The $3 million aggregate limit is what you have for that year. Now you're going to have an occurrence limit. That's that $1 million. So you have up to $1 million per claim per occurrence. So you'll have up to 3 times to get that $1 million. If that happens, I'm going to cancel you. So FYI.
I love it. You're going to be canceled.
Yeah, but we don't want those kinds. But yeah, so the risk retention group, what happens is that $3 million is in a pool.
Mhm.
And so that insures them, the whole company, for the year. And then in the event of a claim, that whole $3 million could be used up. And then let's say and then the next guy comes in with a $500,000 claim, there's going to be no more money, no coverage at all. So it's kind of scary. It's kind of like, are you sure there's going to be enough in there? So it's really important to make sure that, hey, is this my own policy limits? When you're going to talk to your insurance agent, I need a policy that is just for me.
So let me backtrack. So the aggregate is, so let's say that I have a policy with a limit of $3 million, right?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So I have a policy for $3 million, and then per occurrence, it'll pay up to $1 million. So
Yes.
you would fire me, but
Yes.
I can have 3 problems and it'll cover up to $1 million
Yes.
on those. And
Yeah.
then once I reach that, that's it. Like there's no more. You'll get rid of me before then. But but it's up to the 3 million. So I can kind of screw up 3 times. It'll cover those 3.
Yes. And you
Okay.
know what? There are some people who have smaller claims, right? They're like $2,500 claims.
Yeah.
So they pay their $500 deductible.
hmm
The $2,000 is then paid by the insurance company. And then, I'm like, okay, that was not your fault. Really, I
Right.
get that. So continue on. But if it's $750,000 claim, then yes, then you'll have up to $1 million per occurrence,
Per
per
occurrence.
incident.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. And I think that's something big to know. That was one of the things that to me was big because you're picking a policy and you don't know, and you start talking. What's the price difference? So a policy of $1 million limit versus a policy of about $3 million limit. What are you talking? 20, 30, 40 bucks? What's the difference between?
Well, for us, we have different programs. And
Okay.
we have a 1-2 limit, which is a $2 million aggregate, $1 million per occurrence. Then a $3 million, $1 million per occurrence, and then a $4 million, $1 million per occurrence. A lot of the times, these commercial accounts require more,
Mm-hmm.
and so
They require more than 4 million.
sometimes they do, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so you'll have to get an additional policy on top of that, umbrella coverage. And we were talking about that yesterday, but it just depends on. It starts about $75 a month, up to $8 to $95 a month.
So it's really a $20 difference to go from one to the next.
Yeah, and I've got some exciting news in a little bit regarding
Yes.
that.
You got to hear about that. Yeah. So that's amazing. I mean, for $20, you've got $4 million coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a
So if you had, $2,500 incident, I mean, that's still within that realm, right? It's not just 3 occurrences altogether
It's up to $1 million per occurrence. Yes.
Got it.
so that's pretty cool. All right, so let me ask you, and I think this was a big one. When it comes to auto insurance, what's the difference between having that commercial versus that personal? Because I think probably what happens is a lot of pool pros. I did it at the beginning. I just thought, okay, well, I have insurance. I don't need to, have a commercial auto insurance policy.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, a lot of these guys will drive around with their personal trucks and do that, but it's important to have commercial auto insurance so that it covers you during your doing your business.
Mhm.
There's certain things you can also add on to auto insurance for your commercial account or for commercial. You can cover your tools, cover the stuff in the back of your truck, basically. Also, there could be more. You could add a hazmat coverage to it. So there's certain policies. I would ask your auto agent for that. And then additionally, if you're doing commercial accounts, they require commercial auto. So if you're driving onto a Hilton property, they require that. And then if you have employees, they require workers' comp. And then they require general liability insurance. And you're going to put that certificate, you're going to hand it over to them and say, okay, I can work here.
Yeah, and that's why when I learned my lesson about the commercials, I started doing some hotels, and they're like, "Oh no, here's our list of requirements.
Oh, yeah,
Right? You
it's a
need
lot.
you need the certificate. You need this. You need this amount of coverage. You need to insure us, and we'll talk about that a little bit. We need to see your commercial auto." And I'm like, "Commercial?" I'm like, "I got personal." And they're like, "Nope, you need the commercial
Yeah.
if you're going to do it." So
When we have our reps covered additionally. So
Oh,
that's
good, yeah.
something you don't think about, but vehicle graphics.
That's a great point because those are expensive.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Oh, the wraps on the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So on ours, we've got extra coverage for that because, I mean, those can be thousands of dollars and something goes wrong with it. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So you touched on workers' comp. Can you kind of brief over that? And at what point do you think, I'm in the pool industry getting started, at what point should you start looking at workers' comp? Or should it be from the beginning, or is there a certain...
Your first employee, you should have workers' comp on your employees, all of them. Basically, it covers if we saw a guy in a backyard and his employee was fixing a heater and cut his finger almost off. So that's something that, sorry. But yeah, so they ended up, workers' comp pays for that because they had to go sew that thing back on. It's something, that you need to have for your employees. It takes care of them in the event something were to happen.
Now that's going to be, well, I'm assuming probably as soon as you have one employee, it probably wouldn't matter what state you're in, right? Because like Texas, you have employees, you have to have workers' comp. It's not like you can.
Yeah. I know that in California, where I'm from, they're going to start requiring workers' comp even if you don't have employees on yourself.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we're talking about insurance. It's insurance.
Right.
That's what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And you want to have everything in place to protect yourself because the wildest things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because I'm trying to remember who I was talking to and said that even if you do have somebody that you have under 1099, that doesn't mean that that person under 1099 can't come after you from the workers' comp standpoint.
A 1099, that's like a subcontractor,
A subcontractor, right?
I don't know. That's kind of, I just see a lot in the pool industry. That's, people are cutting corners and they'll say, oh, well, they're subcontractors, but they're actually employees because they're trying to get around the tax purposes of it. But you can't really have workers' comp unless they are employees. It's hard for them to come after them if they have their own business. You'd want to make sure that that if you are indeed making them a subcontractor, that they carry their own insurance. That's a big thing.
That's a huge one right there that you kind of think of. Sometimes you're just like, oh, come do this work, but you don't. And again, back into my hotel days, anybody that came to do any work at our property that was not on staff, they had to provide, their insurance.
Yes.
They had to show their workers' comp. They had to show all that. And as a business owners, we need to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because sure, we could be friends, Zach, and you kind of subcontract some stuff. But if you don't have insurance and something happens and you do the job for me, they're coming after me.
Yeah,
right?
and they come after, I mean, we've seen it several times, but they'll come after everyone. And the event, if it's a big claim, I'll tell you one that we had. A young guy dove into a pool and broke his neck and became a paraplegic. And because the signs were not visible, that they were faded, they went after the pool professional. They also went after the gardener, who they said the trees weren't trimmed back enough and it was kind of blocking that. And we ended up paying $2 million out in that claim right away within 3 days. And that's the stuff you want to make sure. That's why they make sure you are listed as you have your insurance as well. So that in the event something like that happened, that they would be covered.
That's crazy. And that's a big one. I mean, talk about them coming after you personally if you don't have that insurance.
Oh my gosh, right? You lose everything.
Jeez, that's scary. So we talked a little bit about the aggregate and the per occurrence. So let's talk a little bit about the pollution cleanup costs. And so is that the same as hazmat?
It is, yes.
Okay.
So if you're driving down the road, flip your truck, chemicals go everywhere. Whatever you have in your auto policy is going to cover a certain amount. And then, for example, we'll come in and pick up the rest of it. Let's just say they only have $10,000 of hazmat, or maybe they don't have hazmat. So if they don't have hazmat, then they'll go directly to our policy and use up to $50,000 to clean up the mess.
Crazy. Hey guys, let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, we will continue our conversation with Danielle, and we're going to jump into a new amazing program that you guys have coming out.
Awesome.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add recurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast with myself, your host, Edgar De Jesus, our boy JJ, the fastest knitter in the West, Mr. Zacharias, the pool boy Nicholas. I got to learn how to whistle so I could do the type thing. And the cannonball champ himself, Spider.
There you go.
So, hey, before we jump back, I want to give a big, huge shout out to Jay that just jumped on here. And then Michael, by the way, was the one that told us that we should do the single drop thing. So, Michael, just to let you know, we were listening and Spider was listening to you out there with the drop.
I like it.
Yeah. And then Michael is saying, so we were talking about his suit that he's having custom made, and he's actually doing a black silk suit.
Wow.
You got to
fancy.
read that last part, though. Made in Italy.
Made in Italy.
Wow.
We better step our game up.
I'm kind of worried right now.
Yeah, my $200 pimp suit from Oak Cliff might not cut it.
Hey, Spider, where was yours made? Do you know?
It was Oak Cliff, for real.
Oh, click. Really?
Yeah, that's where I get all my suits. There's a lady down there that $200. You get your shirt, tie, your coat, your jacket, sometimes shoes, depending on if she has them or not, and a hat. Generally all the same color. Very pimp-like.
Generally the same color, he says. So we're going to have to go check it out. But we're going to have to figure out what we're doing for tuxes this year. So the first year we did suits, remember?
Yeah.
And then last year we did tuxedos, and we kind of went classic look.
And my
Is
tie
that-
was broken.
Oh, no.
The first year.
Broken.
No, last year.
Your bow tie was
Yeah,
broken.
I had to
Yes.
like
Okay.
squeeze my
Yeah.
head in there.
Okay. No, you got to listen to this. Oh my God, this is so funny. So you know how you have the bow tie and then it comes around and kind of clips with
Yeah.
that little thing, right? So Zach couldn't get it on. And all of a sudden I turn around and I look and you know what he was doing? He had stretched out the putt and he had opened it and was putting that through his head.
Because it wouldn't come apart. And then it was like loose the whole time hanging. I'm like, that's my luck right there.
Like a necklace.
Yeah.
I did have a problem with mine too because the photographer, remember, he kept coming to me and kind of fixing my tie. I felt like a little 5-year-old kid every time he took a picture. It was like, Edgar, your tie. Okay, now.
I'm buying an aftermarket bow tie this year.
There you go. Just a clip on.
Yeah, just get a clip on it. It
Yeah.
just clips on right there.
I want to see one that spins.
Yeah.
Maybe squirts water. Who knows?
So the question is, are we going, do we go rogue and let everybody pick their own tux and not match, or do we have to match?
I think match.
We have
but
to
we need
match.
to like, what's the next level?
I say a different color. Go in all white.
Oh, I don't think I can pull an all white.
No.
I'm getting gray hair, so
Creeping on Colonel Sanders
Oh,
territory.
there Oh, man.
Oh, come with my little name tag KFC right there. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Even though we were at the Men's Warehouse yesterday, we should have kind of looked at.
The #1 store, I might add.
Yeah. So we found that out yesterday. So yesterday we went to.
Is that where you got your black shirt?
So, yeah. So it's funny because we went to Spider. We went to Del Frisco yesterday, and so they have a dress requirements. And so I come over to Zach, and I'm like, Zach, and he's like, dude, I just have shorts and the tennis shoes and the shirt. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, you didn't bring jeans at least? He's like, no. So here we are. We dropped you guys out. We dropped you off after the videos, and so we're scrambling over to the Men's Warehouse. And I have to tell you this, Danielle, typical fashion. It doesn't matter where you take Zach. He says that he's an introvert. He's having full conversation on with the sales guy, and he comes back out, and Zach's telling me, did you know that this is the #1 selling Men's Warehouse store out of the 1,700 or however many they have? And I'm like, how did you know that? And he's like, well, I was talking to the guy. And I'm like, and there goes that introvert thing you got going.
And I didn't bring jeans because it's 10,105 degrees up here. So
Yeah. So, but the ladies wanted to go somewhere nice, so we had to dress up. Which, by the way, I took heat that I wore jeans.
Oh.
So I got home, and my kids and my wife were chastising me that I should have stepped up my pant game.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, Del Frisco's nice, but they just require pants and at least a shirt and
A shirt. Yeah.
yeah, right? Yeah, no shirt, no service. Zach was worried because they said no hats. You couldn't have a hat.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's
so we
right.
got in there, and I'm like, Zach, just walk in and see if they say something. They never said anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
That's the way to go right there.
Yeah.
Challenge authority.
Yeah. But we did take you to where it was a little bit younger crowd, because if we would have gone to Perry's, right? Perry's is a little bit older guy.
Yeah.
Maybe if you were looking for like a sugar daddy or something, like that's where that would be. But if you want to look for more hip, then it's where we went. So,
man.
anyways, David, good morning. Big shout out to you out there. So guys, let's continue our conversation.
Yeah, so I want to ask, because we kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, but what is faulty workmanship, and do your policies have that?
Our policy does not have it. Some policies could have it. Basically, it's faulty workmanship is bad work, doing a bad job. I'll give you an example. We had a pool professional, not licensed, did not know how to do repairs, and he installed a heater improperly. And the heater basically just blew up. And so he's like, well, yeah, you're going to cover this. I'm like, no, we're not going to cover it because, number one, you installed it improperly because the manufacturer came out and said this was all wired wrong. It's completely done wrong. So there's no warranty on it, number one. And number two, we're not going to cover that. We're not going to warranty your work. We're only going to cover, let's just say you installed a heater and the heater was installed properly, and for some reason it caught on fire, burned the house down. We're going to cover the fire damage to the house. So that's what faulty workmanship. There's no coverage for doing bad work.
So let me ask you, Zach and I were talking about this when we were walking upstairs today. So on your policies, so you cover the pool pros and the service and the repairs. So what happens if somebody is not licensed to do repairs? Are they still covered, or how does that work? I'm sure that gets tricky.
It does get tricky. So for me, there's nothing in the policy that states that there's an exclusion for that.
Hmm.
But for me, as taking care of the alliance and making sure that everyone is, our rates don't go up. I vet everyone in, and I look at every single person. And if they're put 100% repairs, or if they go more than 20%, I want to know: Are you licensed? Are you licensed to do that type of work? And I, will then put it in their file, because in the event of a claim, I'm going to show that to the underwriters and say, look, they were licensed to do this. They did it correctly, but hey, this is, happened. And so please cover this.
Right. No, and that makes sense. So a couple different things. You got to protect the alliance, right? Everybody else. That's
course.
super
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And then you want to make sure that they're covered.
Yeah.
Because if they have a claim and all of a sudden they come back and they're like, nope, denied,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So that's
And that's, and we get people all the time that, they start doing construction work, remodel work, and they know it's not part of the policy, but the policy is cheap. And so they use it to show their customers, I'm insured. And I can't vet all those people in, because they're not being truthful on the application. But
Mhm.
in our policy, it states exclusion to construction and remodel. And that policy typically is a lot more expensive. So if you are doing that type of work, you're going to want to get a policy that's for pool construction.
Protects that. So can you talk a little bit, one more question before we move on. So what about like warehouse, or if they have an
Office, yeah, yeah, yeah.
office or something like that?
So a lot of pool professionals will have an office, warehouse, storage unit. And the tenant or the landlords will make that tenants have a certificate of insurance listing them as additionally insured. And at that point, you're going to want to get, we have an option for warehouse office liability. It's only $65 a month, and it covers liability only, third party stuff. So if, let's just say, a customer came in, slipped and fell and hurt their head, and they had to go to the hospital, that's going to be liability policy for that.
So let's talk about this this new program. And I think if people know you and you have been in the industry your entire life, and we're having a little technical issues over here, but we're gonna fix that here in
Okay.
just a second.
I'll get it here.
So you didn't have to create the program that you're creating, but I could see it completely. Just you've been in the industry for your whole life.
Yeah.
And so there's a passion there for the pool pros. And I think that speaks a lot to the pool pros, and especially the people that meet you. They know it's not just a transactional relationship. And we're in an industry that's not transactional, right?
Right.
It's about building
For
relationships.
sure.
So I can see why you're so successful, because you've been in the industry forever. You're passionate about it. You know the pool pros. You know what they need. You can tailor your programs around it. You have down the part of, let's not go through this phone system. It's like you want people to have somebody answer and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. And that just is what our business is about. It's about that relationship. So you go out, and you really didn't have to create this program that you're creating, because you have your tiers, and
Yeah.
what made you. So tell me, first of all, the name of it and what made you create this program.
Okay, so this is the all access program, and it's our platinum all access program. And the reason I made it is because I wanted something for the pool professionals to go to, and I wanted them to be able to kind of like a one-stop shop where they can have access to things like QuickBook, or someone that can do QuickBooks for them, that can do their bookkeeping for a discount. They can also get T-shirts, and we're also offering telemed. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. And so that's in the all access program. We're offering, let's just say you were to get sick, for $5 a month. In this program, you can call in a telemed, and they will go ahead and prescribe you medication if you need it. And then also,
That's a big one. Time out. So for $5, they basically can see an online doctor,
yes.
and they don't have to pay anything extra. So there's
Nope.
no doctor visit fee. There's none of that.
I don't think so. I'll have to ask Laurel on that just to make sure, but I think it's just $5 a month and they can call.
And
Yep.
they do the telehealth and
Yes.
that's huge.
Yeah, they'll do everything over the phone.
Yeah, and I'm almost thinking like, as a smaller business, like a lot of the traditional benefits out there are very, very costly. Like a lot
Yes,
of the
yeah.
things that big companies offer. And, I'm kind of looking at things like this is like, what are the alternative benefits that we can offer where, something like that, if it worked out to where you could offer that to your team or
Oh,
things
yeah,
like
for sure.
that,
Yep.
that's a big deal.
And life and disability is another one that's on there. That's including the other ones, but life and disability is a big one because if you don't have employees and you were to get sick or hurt, then you'll have that disability program to kick in and give you some money. And that's been we've had a lot of people signing up for that. And we have a life and disability. We partner with a life and disability company, and she takes care of everything. They're the same way. I said, hey, look, we need to treat it just like our members. She does the same thing that the girls do in the office, that you're not treated like a number. It's really good. And then also part of this new program, we're going to offer education through you guys as well. And we're offering discounts. So people, it's a one-stop shop. You can upgrade your insurance. Also, you'll have a $4 million aggregate, $1 million per occurrence. It'll be the highest limits of insurance. And I'm working right now with Ford. We're hopefully going to get like a fleet deal. So people who are
That'd
part
be
of this
awesome.
program will be able to get fleet trucks. There's so many things. So we're going to be launching this probably September 1st, and we're going to offer it immediately. If you are a platinum member already, we're just going to be an all access member. So those 255 people that are part of my platinum program will immediately have access to all of these great things. And then if other members want to upgrade, they're able to, or if you want to sign up, and you can just sign up for the platinum program.
So the platinum program is. Do you know the cost? What's the cost going to be on the platinum?
$95 a month, and it's basically whatever the cost is for the platinum. If you have employees, it does go up because it's per employee.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. So it's $95, and then what's the policy limits on that one?
A $4 million aggregate, $1 million per occurrence.
So you're covered on the highest tier at $4 million for the $95, right?
Yep.
And then what about like certificates and stuff like that? Because normally, like when I had mine and I had to go get, so I did stuff for like Marriott, and I had some other ones. I had to pay. So when I went and I asked for certificates for these companies, I had to pay for those certificates.
Okay.
Is that included in the program?
So the certificates of insurance are included with the platinum program for additional insured, also waiver of subrogation, anything that a commercial account really requires. Also, I've set it all up where this is VIP. So at the end of the year, we renew everyone's certificates, and it's a long process. So anyone in the platinum program will get their certificates 10 days earlier than everyone else. So you're not going to be scrambling and not getting paid by your commercial account because you're not having your certificate in hand. The policy renews 1/1/2024. You're going to have your certificates in hand 10 days prior. So
yeah, and that's huge. Especially, so I did a lot of hotels and then apartment complexes and stuff like that. And it's funny how the commercial environment works, because it's like you don't have the policy, you're not getting your check. Just like you were saying,
Yeah.
it was like until you get that, you're not getting your check. And obviously, realistically, you're busy, you're doing all this stuff. Like, you don't look at that kind of stuff. I never sat and said, okay, I need to get these 10 certificates by this day, right? It was always the scramble of
when you didn't get your check.
Yeah, it was always the scramble of them going, hey, this is expired, and then me going, oh, having to call the insurance and kind of get the certificates
and
again.
that's the other thing too. We will make because you're part of the platinum program, you'll be ahead. If you're part of the platinum program, you'll be, if you request a certificate of insurance, we'll do yours first before we do any of the gold or the silver ones. Those will be done immediately. Usually we say 24 hours, but they'll get the same day.
Now, let me ask you, on your other programs, those additional certificates, do you guys charge for them?
For the silver program, we charge $25 per certificate.
$25. Mm-hmm. So I used to do about 10 of them.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's,
$250
that's
right there.
an extra $250 right there. Shoot, that pays for a couple of months of the program itself right there.
For sure.
But seriously, it's like,
I just think for all the benefits that we're also offering CPO courses with the discount. And what else was there in that? But
Who's doing your CPO? Who are you? Who did
Laura
you partner?
Broom.
Okay, Laura Broom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So she's going to be
absolutely.
offering, and they're going to be private courses. So you have to be a member of the Platinum All Access in order to do that at the discounted rate. Otherwise, you can still join it, but it's going to be more expensive.
Right.
Also, we have pool poles. I'm working on distribution discounts right now, so we'll see how that goes. But every year I go up to bat when I go see the underwriters, and I say, hey, I want to add more to this policy. And I feel like I'm doing the same thing with this all access program. I want to continue adding more. I want more discounts for pool professionals. I want more education. And I feel like this program is going to offer that for pool professionals.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And again, I think from a business standpoint, it's get very tough, right? Because all you could do from the insurance standpoint is there's only so much you could do, right, with regards to the coverages and all that. And there's these 10 boxes that you got to check. Once you check those 10 boxes, there's nothing extra. But to put a program like this and focus on the education, and again, one of the reasons that we work so well together is that you believe in the education just as much as we do. And you said it from day one. If I have a lot of the pros that are going through the education and doing that, right?
Yeah.
That kind of allows me to make sure that they're well educated on whether it's the repairs or the water chemistry and all that.
Less claims.
Less claims, right? And that's what your business is all about, is really about making sure that you have as least amount of claims possible so that insurance doesn't go up.
Of course. Yep, exactly.
So one of the things that we're going to do, Zach, which I don't even think I told you. I think this was just between me and Danielle. John doesn't know either. He's not here today. But obviously, as we start doing our financial classes again after the summer and stuff like that, she reached out and she was like, "Hey, can we do and be part of that?" And we normally don't offer discounts, which will probably come back and bite me because I just said it on the podcast. So now other people are going to be like, "Hey, you did it for Danielle, so now you got to do it for us." But there will be a discount for the financial business class that we're doing. And then as we continue and we continue to do more boot camps, obviously there'll be a cost for those boot camps and stuff like that. That'll kind of be part of that. And then you added on here, you also have, like, you went all out, like you connected with a lot of people. So you did a discounts for billing software?
Billing software with Jobber. Yeah. So you get a discount there. Also pool route sales. You can sell. You can trade your accounts, or you can sell your pools with pooltrader.net. Also, printing and design work, you get a 10% discount. Website development, if you need that. There's bookkeeping services. That's a big one. So if you are, the summers get hard, and if you're going home and you're having to do your own bookkeeping, you could give that to someone else to do for a minimal fee. And they will do all of your billing. They'll do all of your reconciliation. They'll do all of that for you. And so I felt that was really cool.
Who do you work with for that?
Let me find it. It's called Sapphire Group.
Sapphire Group.
Yeah.
I might need you to connect me with them.
Yeah, he's awesome. And they also offer ADP services at a discount, and then DocuSign at a discount as well. So, and then also, if you guys need contracts, waivers, and agreements and letters made for your customers, we'll have those as well for free. So a ton of different things that we offer. There's more and more. I can keep going on this list. So you can call the office, and we can send you the document that shows all of the discounts and the additional things that we offer with the Platinum All Access program. But as soon as we launch it, I think it's going to do really, really well.
And so will you have on your website all of the information for the Platinums of all the things that they can get for free?
Yeah, we'll put that up here in the next couple months. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, and let me do this for any of the manufacturers that are listening, or anybody that wants to be part of it. How should they reach out to you to be part of it? And I think they should, right? I think, you got to take advantage of everybody.
For sure. Yes. I would just call the office. The office is on our website. And then Ashley or Bailey can go ahead and take care of getting that over to me, and I'll be more than happy to work with you.
Danielle will take your call, right? Because now what's going to happen is you're going to have people want to be part of it, because you have 3,600 members, right? So who wouldn't want to have access to do that?
Yeah, I also will be doing direct mail marketing, email marketing to all the customers to offer these things as well. So they'll see it every month. So,
right.
Yeah.
So they'll need to tell Bailey that Pool Nation, Edgar and Zach told them to call for it.
Yeah.
Right. And you'll get expedited to the front of the line. No, I'm kidding. You guys are awesome. Like, you guys are really well known. Like, your reputation with regards to answering your phone and getting back to everybody and answering the phone. I mean, you guys are really known for that. A lot of the people that you talk to, you say, "Oh, the SPPA," and they're like, "Oh my God, they always answer their phone. They always talk."
And we pay claims too. Yes. That's the other thing we do. I don't like to do it, but hey, we do.
Oh, that's funny. So, so when does the program roll out?
September 1st, we're shooting for.
September 1st. The cost is going to be $95.
$95 a month. If you have employees, it does go up, but $95 a month.
$95 a month, and then you'll have access to all of this. And then anybody that's in your top tier, which is called, what is your tier called right
Platinum.
now?
So it's going to be the Platinum All Access program.
The Platinum, I like that. Platinum All Access.
Yeah.
So we'll have to call her later. Hey, can we use Pool Nation All Access? We'll have to get permission, right? No, absolutely love it. I mean, I think it's definitely a great thing. And I mean, shoot, for the $20. I'm still spinning in the back of my head right now that for an extra $20, I could have covered my whole year almost. For that $4 million tier. So even if I was at the one down for the $25 that I was spending on the certificates.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
worth it. Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. So let's do this. I want to take our final word from our sponsors and want to come back and ask you one more question. And then Zach, I want to get your final thoughts. We'll be right back.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high range removal with Pro Series Series Phos Remove or Phos Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast with myself, your host, Edgar DeJesus, the reigning champion of Marco Polo, JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, Zach, the pool guy, Nicholas, and today in studio, baby, the Cannonball King himself, Spider.
So I'm a pool guy now.
Dude, like you killed spiders. Like I pitched it. Did you, Spider? That was not my fault.
No, you're good. You're good.
Bro, you like killed his.
He has a fair question though. Has he graduated to pool guy from pool boy?
No, you're just pool boy. You're the famous pool
You
boy.
said the pool guy.
I said the pool guy?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's because Danielle told me to say that to see your reaction. So Danielle's all like, we can't call him the pool boy anymore because he just looks old with a big long beard. And
gray hair.
She said, Edgar, just to give you a heads up, it's kind of a little creepy that you guys keep calling him the pool boy. So I'll call you. Can I call you the pool man? Since now, right?
It's better than the poo boy.
than the poop boy. So, anyways, big huge shout out, David out there. So you have first response out here going, all right, I'm sold. I'll be switching over soon. So here's what you're going to do, Michael. You're going to call Danielle specifically.
Awesome.
At Michael's.
Should I say my number right now?
Absolutely.
760.
Go ahead and say it.
Yeah, you can call me 760-271-9838.
There you go, Michael.
If I don't answer, you can text, and then I can send you all the information.
Yep, there you go. So he's saying that's only $20 more per month than my current insurance plans with another company. I can't pop up today. Another company, which is a standard policy. I'll definitely be an SPPA member soon.
Yay.
So
And you're going to get a custom policy just for the pool professional. So
absolutely.
we're excited to have you.
Yes. So, and then send us a picture of that and we'll kind of reshare that. So, and then you know what? We'll introduce you to Danielle over at the Pool Nation Awards because she's going to be there. She'll present an award.
Is this the same guy that's wearing the...
Yes,
Oh,
this is the
perfect.
same guy with the suit.
Man,
and so
it's weird. I kind of like want to smell it. Is that weird? I'm like a smells person. I kind of want to walk up and smell the suit. Like, what does a silk suit smell like?
From Italy.
So from Italy. So
Is it like a nice car? You know, when you get in a car and you're like,
that new car
wow.
smell.
Yeah.
So I can see this. So Spider, now Spider and I have to talk more than ever, right? Because what we're going to have to do is be like, all right, Spider, be on the lookout for Danielle. Have your phone out. I'll bring Michael over to her and then videotape when she goes over to the lapel part and she's like,
We hope it's the lapel.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, so we'll take a picture with you with Michael out there.
Okay.
David, sorry, late to the party. What are you guys talking about? So we're talking to Danielle from the SPPA. We're talking about her new program, the Platinum All Access. So yeah, I'm starting to
All
learn.
right,
I'm
there it
starting to
is.
learn. And then Michael's laughing out here. And then Maria was kind of explaining out there and talking about what we're covering. Just called and updated my insurance since I moved. Thanks for the advice.
Oh, awesome.
Nice. That was our boy
Good.
Jay Brakefield out from Denton. So big shout out to you, brother, out there. We need to connect. We need to do some lunch soon. Well, you know what? I take that back, Jay. You're in the middle of the summer. Let's do it in September. So, so we'll connect. And then, by the way, Jay, now that I have you on here, make sure that you separate September 6th because that's the night of the nominations for the Pool Nation Awards, and we always have Jay drive up and present one of the categories for the nominations. So, Jay, you listen to it here, September 6th. And 7 to 9 p.m. and it's going to be back at the Heritage. So separate those dates on there. Here's a good one for you, Danielle. Danielle, would you take a look at my insurance? Maybe I want to change it too.
Would love to. I am more than happy at any time to look at the insurance policy and let you know, is it if it's good and you have a good price, for sure, stay with the company. Or if you feel like you want to take a look at what we have, I'm more than happy to look at your policy and see if there's the coverages that you need. Anyone who wants to do that, totally let me know.
I was just about to say, Zach,
That's simple.
I looked at Zach going, I'm going to throw her under the bus. Will you do that for anybody?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And she already said the phone
And
number on
these
the podcast.
policies are, I'm going to go straight to the exclusions on them, but they're 80 to 120 page policies. So I'll go through it. It's going to take me a little time, but I could tell you what the basis of what's covered and what's not.
That is awesome. So everybody get out there, send a message to Danielle. She'll take a look at your policy. And if there's one thing that I'll vouch for Danielle is she's not going to try to sell you on her policy. She's just going to take a look at it. And if it's better, it's better. And if it's not, she'll just tell you how it is. So
For sure.
for sure. So Danielle, really quick, she's saying thanks. And Maria's awesome, by the way. We love Maria. Maria, believe it or not, so we were at the Western and we didn't have lunch. We didn't have anything. She actually made us lunch and brought it to us at the Western show.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So, so Maria, we absolutely love you. Thank you for that.
The sandwiches.
The sandwiches really. So I was in Lent, so I couldn't have bread.
Oh no.
And so the guys were eating the sandwiches, and then of course,
Rubbing it in.
typical Zach and John. They're like, "Oh my God, these are so good! Oh my God, Edgar, you sure you don't want to bite?" I'm like, "You guys."
I think we
stink."
ate yours too.
You did, because I couldn't have it. On one of them, I pulled out some of the meat, and I was having some of the meat from the sandwich.
I don't eat bread, and I feel so rude when I do that. I always like put the bread to the side. And I'm like just eating the inside of the sandwich out.
That's funny. So Danielle, give us a quick recap, because I think we talked about it, but we went such in depth. Can you give us a quick recap on the program?
Yeah, we'll just put it this way. We've done all the legwork and united with exclusive leading partners to offer discounted custom pool trade benefits to our Platinum All Access members. You guys will join if you join the All Access program, you'll be part of the elite group of pool professionals, and we're all striving to grow and be successful in this expanding competitive industry. So you'll also have the highest limits of insurance and tons of discounts and opportunities to get education. And I'm always going to be growing it. So that's the other great thing.
Can I ask you? I don't know if I should ask this question or not.
Oh no,
I'm going to ask it anyways. I'm going to ask it anyways. So I have heard some people. Don't get mad at me if I ask you this question, and I shouldn't have asked it online.
Like,
so we'll edit
throw down
it.
the mic and walk out.
We'll edit it out. Yeah, you're like, So do you cover some of the? Because I know that IPSA is an association, but do you cover some of the insurance side? Because I've heard some of the people say that they're with IPSA, but they have your insurance.
Yes. So as an IPSA member, and I love it because IPSA also offers education. They have monthly meetings. We insure IPSA members. You do not have to you can buy your insurance anywhere if you're an IPSA member, as long as it's A-rated and meets the general liability requirements. So I have quite a few IPSA members, and we just provide proof of insurance to IPSA, listing them as additionally insured. So for sure, if you feel like you can get a better rate with us, and you're an IPSA member, I'd love to have you. So yeah, just let me know.
Okay. Am I in trouble with you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people don't, because IPSA's been around forever. Even my dad used to be part of IPSA when I used to go to the meetings.
So did I.
When I was little. But some people feel like IPSA is their insurance, but it's not. There's a separation there. So you can buy your insurance anywhere as long as it's A-rated and meets the general liability and requirements.
Gotcha. Hey, Spider, do you have SPPA insurance?
I do not.
You do not. So you're going to sign up after this?
Absolutely. Got to get myself covered, man.
Hey, I forgot to mention one thing.
Yeah.
If you join the elite platinum program, and you are a pool builder and you just want those benefits, it's $125 a year just to have those benefits.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. That's only $125 if you're a pool builder?
If you're a pool builder and you want all those.
All those.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Zacharias, we're at the end of the podcast. Final thoughts. See what he did? Did you see that, Danielle?
Yeah.
I went to, and he just went like this. He stayed the whole time. He knows I'm going to ask him final thoughts, and he just sat there because unless I say Zach final thoughts, John final thoughts, they won't speak.
Oh no.
They'll go quiet. Final thoughts.
So I think he said something really important earlier on, and going back to the cutting costs. And we tend to look at, what can we immediately cut costs or save money on? And insurance is just one of those things that it's like, oh yeah, we got to have that. We don't really know about it. Maybe I'll just minimize that cost, but we don't really understand what a detriment that could be to us. And accidents happen, and the bigger you get, and this is something that I'm always looking at, the bigger you get, the more people you have out there on the road, in the backyard, in the office, whatever, the more exposed you are to risk. And I had a motorcycle at an earlier point in my life, and I remember it was my older cousin that I looked up to. He had motorcycles and all that, and I finally got a street bike, and he told me something that's always stuck with me. And he said, it's not a matter of if you get in a wreck, it's a matter of when you get in a wreck. And I have wrecked, and so there's things that happen that are completely out of your control. And ideally, you never have to go through anything, and you've paid for that insurance. And yes, it's just a cost of doing business, and you need to factor that in. You need to, we always talk about knowing your numbers and everything. That needs to be a factored in cost of providing service. And so it's extremely important to make sure that you're covered in the event that something happens. And I think, the more things that come out and the more methods there are to do our jobs and provide our service, and the more products out there, the more chemicals coming around, is a great thing, but also there's more that can go wrong. And so I would just say, make sure you're covered. Make sure whatever policy you have actually covers you for the things you're doing, because I think, general liability, we go out and we just get something and we don't read the, what was it, 180 pages? Yeah. No, we just sign up and we're good. And we may not be good. So just make sure you know what you're doing and know what you're looking at. And then the last thing, the Platinum All Access program is really cool. And there's a lot of great things in there that people can take advantage of. And so make sure you're taking advantage of those things, because at the end of the day, if you take advantage of everything you can, then it's lowering the cost of the insurance.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and Danielle, thank you for coming to Dallas and hanging out.
Yeah. I love it here.
You like it out here? You like Dallas?
The heat.
Except for the heat. Yeah.
But it's just as hot at home. So,
yeah, you guys are really hot out right now too. So it's kind of crazy out there. So, yeah, no, Zach, to kind of follow up on what you're saying, I agree 100%. And look, when it comes to insurance, and back from my hotel days and all that kind of stuff, lawsuits are something that are very quick to happen. And it's very interesting when you understand how the attorneys work and how it all works when it comes to an accident or something like that, how scary it can be, because it's to the point where something happens and everybody gets thrown into the lawsuit. Like everybody, like you were talking about it. Look, they threw in the gardener, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what does a gardener have to do with somebody jumping into the pool and doing that, right? But from the standpoint of the attorneys, they're going to go and they're going to try to get as much money as they can. That's their job. Let's be realistic, right? They're trying to get for that person, they're trying to get as much as they can, right? So it's really important to not just have the coverage, but to have adequate coverage, right?
Yes.
And so I tend to be the type of person when it comes to the insurance that I over-insure myself. Only because it lets me sleep good. And I've been through in the hotels through the lawsuits and kind of was able to kind of see how it all works. And I'll talk to, like, for our auto, and they're like, you don't need that. I go, but it's going to make me sleep better at night. I'd rather spend the money, sleep good, know that we're good, right? And know that things are protected rather than doing that. That's my personal opinion, right? You probably don't have to do that, but I would tell everybody, take Danielle's challenge. Send her your policy, send whatever it is, and have her take a look at it. And here's the thing. If you got a better rate than her, she's just going to tell you keep it. You know, do
Yes.
what you got to do.
But it's not just about the rate. It's about the coverage.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
inclusions, exclusions, all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, everybody listening, I hope that we were able to pick Danielle's brain enough, right?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that we wanted to do. We really wanted to use and kind of do the education standpoint to help them, be successful. And Danielle, thanks so much for being a loyal supporter of ours from day one. We really appreciate it. We know that our visions align with your passion for the industry, our passion for the industry, your passion for educating the pool pros, our passion for educating it. And so thanks so much for everything that you do for the industry, that you do for us.
Thanks for having me. I got to go find my friends now. Hopefully they're okay.
So everybody listening, dial in on Wednesday to our Instagram Live. Catch me and John on there. Zach, thanks so much for coming up. My boy Spider, thank you for hosting us once again.
My pleasure, man.
I appreciate it. Danielle, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.